just a music intro. Hey there. Where Eagle? Welcome, folks. I just do the intro to draw the people in. Hey guys, so yeah, every time I play piano, then people come in and leave so fast. Just it means it's like saying don't play piano. Majority of people don't want it. So okay, so uh, maybe what I'll do actually is maybe on Tuesday on one of my non-normal broadcast days, I'll do just play piano only. So then anyone who wants to leave can leave, and anyone who wants to stay can stay, and I can use it for practice. So yeah, so maybe that's a possible approach, since I can't really play music on these YouTube broadcasts. YouTube really sends you all these nasty copyright messages, and it's kind of irritating to see it. You say, well, you're not being penalized, but these companies are claiming copyright on your work. It's like, zuck. So if you notice what I play, when I play something, I don't even announce what the tune is or play the melody, so you don't know what song I'm playing. That way, then, if YouTube comes to me and says, that tune is mine, I say, zuck you. That tune is not yours because I made it up. So, D Hama, where's your router? How come you haven't thought about your router? So, hey, welcome, folks. And yes, I'm now connected to YouTube now. Of course, I can see YouTube on screen. And today we're going to talk about as I'm not in the USA. Is that a problem? Did you try Gap's Mac OS browser beta? No, ET Buck. Neither do I need to use Decenter or any of that. That's just more crap I don't need in my everyday life. I don't need to do that. So basically, from what I gather, then this is like the center is built in as an extension, so you can't take the center out. So it's part of the browser. Okay. Can the browser spy on you? Yes. So what's the difference? You see opinions from Gab. Nobody even responds to me in Gab. I have a Gab account. I post on Gab and nobody cares and nobody responds. So, you know, just no interaction. I get more responses on Brax Me than I do on Gab. So I'll just stay on Brax. You like jazz, Ben? I like the music. Gives a Mr. Rogers vibe. Well, I'll play Yeah, I need to play more anyway. So, and I don't have any gigs, so I could practice on you guys. Keep TX. Is that TX is in transmit or TX is in Texas? It's Ramadan, Omar. Well, enjoy the celebration, Omar. Enjoy the celebration, Omar. And welcome, Omar. Texas. That's Texas. Okay. Welcome, Omar. My cousin's name Omar. I have a cousin named Omar. So that's a very friendly name to me. Ben Omar. Not quite a celebration. Oh, yeah, you have to fast. Yeah, yes, you have to fast. It's hard. We just did that. We just did that, and we just finished that. The fasting and all that. It has ad blocking and no tracking, supposedly. That doesn't work, my friend. Hello, Great Gold. As you know, if any of you are running that browser from supposedly from Gab, run it through my browser threat test, brax.me/geo. Watch that broadcast again, browser threat test, which will link you to the test for the browser. Test the browser, and you will see, like anything else, it will reveal a fingerprint. Hello, Rob, to seek the truth. So I'm alive and I'm well. I'm alive and I'm well. Thank you. So watch that and run that Gab browser on it and see if there's any difference. And I guarantee you, there's a difference. There's no difference. None of them had a difference. Try running Brave. Brave has no difference. Okay, so run that, and then you tell me what is it going to offer to you. I just add it to the list of your potential browsers. It's one of the browsers you can use. Okay, so well, that's good to see. That's good to hear. To seek the truth, Rob. So yeah, so that's one way to test. And I always encourage you to have many browsers anyway, because that's the only way to stop. No, the fingerprint's not forever, but it's one of the first matching things. Is what they match you with. I'm gonna do another fingerprint, explaining fingerprints a little bit more, because I never told you how to evade fingerprinting, and it's pretty hard to evade. So you're gonna have to play a little game of evasion, and most of you don't want to play the game. It's like this one guy who came to me on YouTube and said, "What are your tips for browsers and all that?" And I said, "Wait, this is not a simple video. It's gonna take me a while." So it took me a while to make the video, like a few days, and I made the video. That's not true. The Tor router does not have a fingerprint. The browser is the one that has a fingerprint, Diama, not the router. No, not the fingerprint is in the browser. So anytime you use anything that uses a browser, it leaves a fingerprint that cannot be evaded. So, no matter what you do, you can't evade it. So what you do is deny them additional information. So you say, okay, Zuck you, Mother Zucker, so you got my fingerprint, but you don't know who the fingerprint belongs to. That's the only evasion you can do. Is say, okay, Mother Zuckers, take my zucking fingerprint, but you don't know who it belongs to. That's your only response. And the other trick you can do is say, oh, you want a fingerprint? I'll give you another zucking fingerprint. I'll give you another zucking fingerprint. Each browser is a fingerprint. So you can confuse them by not really keep TX. No. I no longer offer my organs as donations. If I were to die, they will let you die on purpose. God. I mean, if you're dying, if you're dead, you're already dead. So anyway, games can be fun. Have you heard of the Brave browser? It's just another Facebook type branding scam. What the fuck? So talking about browsers, Firefox has the Facebook container plugin. Containing Facebook? What's the point of containing Facebook if you have a fingerprint? You see what the problem is? Yeah, you contain the cookies of Facebook, but with the same sucking fingerprint, nothing is different. Stock market crash on the way. Yes, you must be looking at the futures. Hello, drought hustler. So hopefully my when it peaked at the highest, hopefully my broker sold some. So then buy lower. Cut. Okay. So don't worry. Has the Tor browser certificate been validated? What does that mean, Ben? You heard that the internet is actually the Ethernet. Flat Earth, if that's the case, then many of you will not get any signal because a lot of the internet does not go through the Ethernet. Yes. Hello, late trim. Got to see you're drinking more water. Why do you say that? Drought. I'm no longer in drought. Wow, the drought has been eliminated. Drought. It's a Tor browser certificate been validated. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means exactly. So guys, so the topic tonight is about what happens when the internet goes down. What do you do when the internet goes down? By the way, when we get to the 5G level, I haven't touched that water in months. It just got left there and I haven't paid attention to it. It's been there for months. So what happens when the internet goes down? Now 5G is another one of these where we're centralizing the communications in higher. Go into withdrawals. What? Drought? I haven't touched that water. No, that water is untouched. No, there's water over here. I do have water here. There. What happened to broadband over power lines? What happened to broadband over power lines? They're not doing broadband over power lines that I know of. Bacteria infested stale water by now. Even in a bottle? What? What the heck does that mean, Jerry? What the heck does that mean? Tell me. So, anyway, the question is what, we're centralizing our internet even more into trunks, into many of you only get internet service from one provider, like, your AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint. And so it's actually only AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, since Sprint and T-Mobile already combined. So it's only just three. So if something happens to the infrastructure, what do you think will happen? What would you think would happen, Drought? So here's the thing. So we are so reliant on the internet. Have you actually ever thought what would happen if the internet stopped even for a week? Let's say there's an earthquake in California and the internet stopped for a week. What do you think would happen? For one thing, I'm going to tell you, some things to consider, no banking. So what do you do with banking? Then you go to the bank and they say, sorry, we have no computers. Flat Earth, yes, but no computers, no order from Amazon, no nothing. Yes. So hello, John. So yeah, so you're like, say, okay, you can't withdraw money. The ATM machines uses internet. So what happens to the ATM machine? ATM machine doesn't work. So is it going to be a riot because people can't get any money and say, I'm starving, I don't have any money, and I can't get my money because there's no sucking internet? The Greek god. Mayhem. Okay, what about the stock market? How do you buy and sell with you don't have a broker and you're been doing your own transactions and suddenly the internet goes down? Zuck! You cannot use debit cards or credit card. Yes, a lot of stuff is based on internet and that. no logistics. Yeah, we're all equal during or after. I know what some of you are thinking. No internet, the equalizer. This is the equalizer when they have no internet. Some of you are thinking, right? This is that how they will end the world? Yeah, EMP. What if North Korea, EMPs us, okay? And then they said, well, we'll shut down the U.S. So we'll just, we North Koreans, we can handle, being farmers. We'll do farming, so we don't have to worry about that. But but you Americans, your whole economy is gonna shut down. Everything's gonna shut down. Yeah, that is my BB gun, Jerry. Yes, that is my BB gun. No internet, probably no electricity either. Uh, Correct. That is correct. We would be crippled if they cut off the web. All the worst parts of the Bible's cats and dogs sleeping together. Okay, well, I'm going to eat, but oh my gosh, drought. At least we'll still have our cult 1911s. Yes. So, well, let me just tell you one of the positive things about what you can do when there's no internet. This still works. This works. EMP is a basically a electronic impulse. It sends such a blast of electronic impulse that it destroys all electrical devices with integrated circuits. Like transistors and so on. It destroys all of that. So anything that requires a transistor and so on, that'll all burn up. That won't work. Can you order groceries with that? You can't pay for it. This is not Nextel Flat Earth. This is ham radio. Now, this is a portable version of a ham radio. And you can have one of those big ham radios, and I'm going to teach you about all this. And so you learn about some things that you may not have realized about the technology when there's no internet. When there's no internet and no power, guess what? Some of you can have your own private internet if you are prepared. You can have a private internet supplied by ham radio. Yeah, 2 meters. There's 2 meters, 7 centimeter is for this particular. This one is a 2 meter, 7 centimeter transceiver. And there's no need for cache, Donna. Cache isn't going to work. So I will check out stock futures. Yeah. So I hope you sold some. Kaboom. Yeah, Trump, why can't cash work? What's the purpose of cash? When there are zombies, what are you going to use the cash for? Okay. Hello, Lenny PR. What's the purpose of cash? When it goes down like that, then you go with. I'll tell you what the best currency is. There you go. That's the best currency in when the SHTF happens. SHTF, there, right? So you trade for this. I want cash. No, I trade this. Right, Entermeyer? Well, Gamma Mama is here. Oh my gosh. Well, Gamma Mama, how are you doing, Dave? When the shit hits the fan, is that a joint? You wanna smoke this? Might blow up in your mouth here if you smoke it. What is it, Wizard thing? What is it? Here. Do you want to see it closer? That close enough? That is not a pencil. That is not a pencil. I think it's 556. He would like it. I think it's 556. Well, Gabba Mama Mama. Yeah, so this is the pointed pot. So this ammo. This is good when the shit hits the fan. Cigarettes, hard liquor, ammo, and food. Yes. So is that a pen? It is not a pen. It's not. It's not a pen, but it's what do you call that? Metal. What is it? Full metal jacket. That's what it is. Dave, what you're in and out, Dave? A full metal jacket, 5.56. That's what that is. Full metal jacket. 50 cal? No, that's 22 caliber. Looks like a Zuckerberg supporting Mother projectile. So 5 gigahertz being deployed won't turn me into a mindless, complacent sheep. Hey Rob, in what fast food were you today? I see a Coke over there. That is not a Coke. That is a iced tea. I don't want to advertise the company. Rob is showing off. I'm showing off my 5.5. I had this for a scope and I left it here. It's still here. So anyway, when the internet goes down and I mean, this is actually not that inconceivable in many places. From a hurricane, it happened. It could happen, in a big city like L.A. and San Francisco when earthquakes happen and so on. So, I mean, we're never prepared for any of that. We're never prepared for any of that. So we are not able to react to this if we don't think about what you can do when the internet goes down. And guess what, guys? I'm going to introduce you to something called ham radio. Ham radio. Now, a lot of you were saying, "Who needs this?" This is kind of like old people talk. Who uses ham zucking radio? I mean, you got your zucking phone, you got your every kind of iPad, computer, all of that, and you got all of that around you, and say, who needs things like zucking ham radio? And the problem is, how much are the radios? You can buy one of these. Not this particular model. This is slightly more, but many of them, this kind, are $25. $25 for a radio. $25. Okay, the most popular model is called the Baofeng UV5R. Baofeng UV5R. I mean, it's made in China. It's like everyone has one, and everyone has one or two or more, and they are $25. Now, this one is very expensive. This one's very expensive. I paid $67 for this with free shipping, no tax. $67. That's expensive. Okay, so most radios, ham radios, for VHF and UHF are very cheap. They're anything over $100 would be like super fancy features. There'd be some. Does anybody still use Cobra? Is it not Cobra for CB radio? You have a hand radio, good range. This one can transmit from 1 watt to 8 watts. So 5, it has 3 levels: 1 watt, 5 watts, and 8 watts. It'll probably cause cancer, and it should allow me to communicate. As of right now, I can talk to with repeaters. I can talk to pretty much all of Southern California area. So I'd say 50 miles easy. You can talk in 50-mile zone. Limited though. So 50 miles of your, if the electricity went down, show us. So are the repeaters run by Democratic? Here. Scanning beacon. We'll listen in the conversations as we 50 miles is great. License still, yes, license is required. Do your ham voice, please. What if I'm in Malibu? What if you're in Malibu? What's what's the significance if you're in Malibu? You're in New York, but what if you're in Malibu? Anyway, uh, one thing about these things, they do require a license. They do require a license. You can't in the USA. There's no handles. Imagine that. Ham radio does not. Amateur radio does not have licenses. You have a call sign. Okay. Hello, Russ Martin. Russ Martin. You have call signs, not. You don't have. What do you call this? Handles are for CB radio. CB radio doesn't go very far. CB radio is what, a mile, 2 miles? It's not go very far. What is the lowest level, easiest to get license? I'll tell you that in a second. So what if I don't get a license? What can happen if you don't get a license? Well, then you're in violation. Well, my old CB license, there's no license for CB, and CB is not amateur radio. This is amateur radio gives you a lot of rights to transmit. What is your call sign, Donnie? So somebody gave me my eyes were not good, and I was reading a call sign. Said, "Come on, that's not a real call sign." If you get a good CB antenna, you can get 4 or 5 miles. Yeah, if you're out in open space and it can reach line of sight. These things can go to repeaters. They're also line of sight, but because of the repeaters, you can actually transmit quite a bit of range. For example, where I am, there's a lot of mountains. CB doesn't require license. What channel do you operate on? There's no channel. You just pick a frequency. Thank you. Imagine that. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. Hopefully, when I imagine that, hopefully my goal when I do my broadcast is to inspire you all with ideas and hello, Gabrielle, and put fresh thoughts in your head to kind of take you away from what you normally think about and introduce you to new concepts. And hello, Gabrielle. I dabbled back in the day. Sally, I've forgotten most. So, yeah, I used to live in Beverly Hills. Repeaters, but do they need power to run? If power's out, no, John, no. I'll talk about that. Some 2-meter repeaters are great gateways to higher frequencies. That's correct. Thank you, Detroit Rock. Okay, thank you. So this is the way ham radio works. The FCC grants you an ability to transmit on certain frequencies, depending on your license class. I'm currently in the technician class. I'm gonna test for my next level, which is a general class, on the next test soon. So when I can get a test, I'm gonna test and get the general license, which allows me to do long distance ham radio. That means you can transmit basically around the globe. Okay, so you can talk to somebody on the other side of the earth, even though the earth is flat, according to Flat Earth. So the FCC stopped sending out CB licenses decades ago, yet the lack of one triggered a $15K penalty. What? Did I understand that? Donnie? So you live near the I don't live in Beverly Hills. I already told you where I live. I rocked 13 words a minute when code sounded like a song. Nobody needs to learn Morse code anymore. Morse code is not a requirement for learning how to use ham radio. So the first level license in ham radio licenses you on the popular bands, which is 2 meters, which is in the range of this device, and 7 centimeters, which is also in the range of the device. And then when you're in the first level, you also get the license for 6 meters. Okay, so you get a part of a 6 meters, 2 meters, The rest are too small to think about, and some of them are only Morse code, so they're not really significant. So most of the traffic for a the first level license, which is what most people will shoot for, is just in the same bands as this thing. Okay, which is 2 meters and 7 centimeters. Okay, most people in LA I find are in the 7 centimeter. So in my at least in LA they seem to be they used to a lot of them are mobile. They put the ham radios in their cars, and yeah. So yeah, 147 is in the 2 meter band. Tune in Tokyo. So 2 meter band. So that's typically what happens. Now, what is unique about these particular bands is these two bands are serviced by a lot of repeaters. No Wi-Fi on it. That's not true. Flat Earth. You will learn in a second here. You'll be surprised what you can do with these. 28,000 10 meters. Yeah, you don't have rights to 10 meter as a technician license. For a technician license, you can only go 6 meters and above. So 10 meters is for general license. When I get a general license, I'll be qualified for 10 meters, which is the 28,000. Yeah. So in case so anyway, one thing about these things, they don't really require a lot of power, I'm going to tell you. So I don't know if any of you have looked at the chargers lately, like solar chargers. Thank you, Wizard. I mean, it's for fun only. Not everything is about, the NSA is going to go attack us. Sometimes things are for fun or safety. And the one thing that's interesting is, I don't know if you've looked at it, and I've looked at it. I may do a scope about this, about power supplies and charging off the grid. Can you get one of these power supplies? For example, I'm going to don't type that, Tinker. Did we not discuss that? No typing those 3 letters. So you can get a power supply, this big, which can supply you with the 90,000 milliamps. I mean, that can charge your phone. That could charge. How many phones can that charge? Quite a few. You can run computers on it. I mean, that's a lot of power for electronics. So basically, those repeaters up and whatever, they can run on a battery like that. Which is cheap. Let's say, $150 for a good sized battery. And for $50, you get a solar charger that can charge that. So every night, the solar charger can charge that, and that thing will run indefinitely. The transmitter, the repeater. The repeater can run indefinitely on these things without any kind of power. The repeaters up, we have repeaters up in the mountains in here, and they're running on independent power. Okay, independent power. They don't need. They just run solar chargers are much more efficient now. And I mean, if you even looked even from 2 years ago, I'm actually surprised at how much power you can generate with some of these solar panels. A tiny one can run your phone easily, but if you want to run, store it in a battery, store the power in battery and just put the charger on top of your car and have a battery, you can run indefinitely. You can have power for all your well, not all, but several electronics. Solar yard lights are still crap. Well, the Earth is still round, flat Earth. So knowing how the radio waves bounce, they still bounce in a round way. Okay. They still bounce in a round way. So anyway, you can actually put these batteries. It's actually interesting if you have a ham radio like this. Okay, again, you can get a cheap one for $25. You can get a solar charger to keep it charged. My gosh, you can be powered, at all times. And just store it in a safe place so that you don't get EMP on it. Zuck, you'll never be out of power of communication capability. This does not require any zucking internet. No internet. Now, it does require a license, like I said. So let me just tell you about licensing requirements for this. Can you explain a little bit about utilizing the phone patch from the hand radio? No, I don't know what you mean. What is the phone patch to ham radio? Solar panels on yard lights are only switches that turn off the light in daytime. They put rechargeable batteries in there to confuse you. Okay. Anyway, ham radio use requires a license. So if you want to learn how if you want to learn how to use ham radio, you have to get a license. Now, again, it certainly makes sense for somebody on each household to be licensed on ham radio, because in case of an emergency, somebody can talk on the radio and know how, as well as be licensed to do it, and they can communicate. And storms, there's enough things that happen. Remember all that fire in Northern California where the whole city burnt down, and the telephone lines were down and the cell signals were down as well. So now how do you talk to anyone when you want to have them reach you to be rescued? If you had ham radio, you would have been okay. There would have been a way to talk to somebody. Okay, and it requires so little power, and if you have a battery charger for this, this can last forever. So it just takes one person in your family to know how to use this and to pass the test. The test is at the first level. The test may seem like a lot, but to be honest with you, the first level test is nothing compared to the general test. The technician license is not that difficult, because you only need to pass like 70% of it. 70%. Pass 70% of the questions. So if you pass 70%, if you get a C, then you're in. Okay? So the problem with hello, sorry I'm a bit late. What's everyone's ham call sign? What's yours, Lavendi? So when you study for the test, there will be a little bit of electronics. Basically, there's one, the formula for computing amps and computing resistance, two formulas. That's probably the most confusing, and then a look at schematics to know what each symbol in a schematic looks like. That's probably the bulk of the technical stuff in there. And the rest are more about understanding. It's more memorization, like, what frequencies you can do, what are the limitations, what are the legal limitations when using a device. And it's mostly that, and it's a lot of memorization. And, it depends on your ability, but I would say, you can read the thing in 4 hours, and then practice the test and see if you can pass it. I tried it many times to make sure I passed the test. There's some trial tests on the internet, and I tried it many times before I actually took the exam. But the thing is, the exam itself was not the same as the practice test, and I said, that's not fair. They changed it on me. So if there's some things you memorize, the memorization may not work. So you really have to understand it. But because it's only 70% passing, it's actually it's doable. It's doable. It's the general test is much harder. I would say 5 times harder. The general test is very hard. You can't use a CB without taking a test. Oh, come on, to seek the truth. Since when? I haven't used a CB in a long time, but when I was using CB, I don't remember taking any test. I don't remember taking any test for CB. So, no, CB doesn't require lies. No, I was asking. No, CB is kind of useless in an emergency. It doesn't have the range. Okay, and mostly it's most people put CBs in vehicles, so I don't think people do put CBs anymore. I mean, my goodness, when was the last time I had a CB? I remember seeing it 25 years ago, maybe. I remember seeing it stowed away somewhere. Now, I probably threw it away. I don't know where it is now. I don't know where my CB is, but I think I had one 25 years. I still had one 25 years ago. What is the point of a cab or what is the point of a cab or wallet talkies? What is the Zucker talking about? KD5FQS. Don Sherry. KD5FQS. Okay, so let's see. KD5FUS. KD5FUS. Kilo Delta. Can't even see this. It's my eyes are Kilo Delta 5. What? US what? I forgot the last three letters. Kilo Delta 5. Do I need to go yeah, FQS. Okay, Fox Quebec Sierra. Fox Quebec Sierra. Okay. Hello, Don Sherry. Of course, that's actually your name. N6 kilowatt Bravo. N6 kilowatt. My ancient CB is KKD 8665. Come on. That even real? Is that your handle? You can make up your own handle in CB radio. It doesn't. You know, can call yourself. You can call yourself whatever you want. So the 10. We don't do 10-4 in ham radio. So KO. That is not a. Mine is 10. There you go. So KOV16 is not a ham license. You would fail the test because one of the test things is I waited 6 months for it. If you do the test, one of the things they will tell you is how to recognize a call sign, because the call sign in ham radio actually tells you if you're from the U.S., not from the U.S., and so on. So the call sign is actually has a pattern. It tells you what region you're in. You know, so it tells you what region you're in. For example, Don Cherry is in region 5. I'm in region 6. So my call sign will have a 6 in it. New Jersey Jeff. Yeah, so my call sign will have a 6 in it because I'm in region 6. So Don Cherry is in region 5, so he has a 5 in there. I'm in region, I think you're region 1, if I recall. Tinker. Lalavon. W2 is in New York. Is New York 2? Forget. It's New York 2? Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. Too far away. It's on the other side. I can't count regions. So when you take the first test, then after that you have a license for mostly the bands in reach of regional transmission. Okay? So the technician license does not qualify you for long distance communication with the other side of the globe unless you just want to do Morse code. So if you're not going to do Morse code, you cannot use the other frequencies to go to the other side of the world for the first level license called technician license. You need a the next level license for that, which is called general. There's no reason for anyone to be taking screenshots of the broadcasts unless you're up to no good. Unless they're taking a screenshot of the comments. Yeah. Thank you, Rob, for being concerned. Thank you. I didn't even notice. Website, duh. Yeah, so actually you can go to the Periscope TV and screenshot there while you're not looking. So you can't stop it no matter what. But at least here, you know who's doing it. It's like, what are you doing? Unless you collage. Yes. John 4 always takes pictures because he makes a collage. Gab macOS browser blocks 9 third-party trackers on Brax.me. Buck, forget about the trackers. That doesn't mean anything. What you should look for is the fingerprint question. We'll answer that in a separate video. So anyway, if you think that this is only useful for voice, I'm going to tell you something else. This is actually useful. You can actually use this to talk to people not in your area. It will actually interface with the internet to be an alternate way of communicating with people over the internet. Now, this is if the internet's still up. I'm going to just tell you this because it's a case where there's still internet. So today, let's say you're talking today. What do you mean it doesn't show a fingerprint? The fingerprint is listed on my thing there. What you do is see if the fingerprint is consistent. Meaning if you exit, come back in, does it have the same fingerprint? That's how you do the test. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, let's go back. That's a different topic, Buck. We'll discuss that in a later topic, and I can test it myself for you, or you can test it yourself and give me the results. Okay, so back to what was I talking about? I was talking about using this on the internet. They have modes for using this over the internet. If you have a license, you still need a license. But you can talk to somebody anyplace else using some systems that actually allow crossover of local regional VHF to different regions. And Buck, you don't know what I'm talking about, though. Please watch the video so you understand what is being said. Okay? What does that mean? It doesn't show. All browsers have a fingerprint, so that doesn't make any sense. Which is not the question. If it has a fingerprint, what is the fingerprint and does it persist? Okay? That's really what you're trying to answer. I have a fingerprint block in there. Are you telling me it's blank? Well, I'm not going to believe that. There's a fingerprint thing in my website. So don't rely on their responses. I have a test for you. I already made the test. So rely on my test, not on what their tests are. Because they're just trying to. You can't block the fingerprint, Buck, unless you block JavaScript. It's blank. So you block JavaScript, it doesn't work anywhere. That's okay. We're talking apples and oranges here. We're talking apples and oranges, okay? So we're talking apples and oranges. That is not correct. It's the Oscar Internet Amateur Radio Satellite. No, that only lasted for 2 weeks. You love oranges. Okay, let me just tell you. You can talk to anybody on the internet over the internet with this using some other systems called D-Star, and the other one is the DMR. So you have to buy a specific one, not the cheap one I'm talking about, a little bit more expensive one. And they have the capability for communicating over D-Star. You can make Livendi, you can make yourself think it blocks the fingerprint if you turn off the JavaScript, which doesn't really tell you that it's not doing the fingerprint. It just tells you that you can't see it. Van, hello Van. Do you have ham radio in your van? Okay, so we had a FiOS in LA, ridiculous. So anyway, okay, so we back to what I'm talking about here. So there's a way over the internet you can talk to other people with this, as long as they belong to the same system. So, for example, let's say the system of communication is called D-Star. What D-Star is, I just want to explain, guys, so that some of you are really wanting to learn how this works. Yeah, I come still around. What D-Star is it allows you to talk to to talk to some other repeater by channeling repeaters, connecting the repeaters over the internet. The system that I'm talking about is called D-Star. So D-Star, what they do is the people who own the repeaters, they've signed on to D-Star, and D-Star then allows them to route the voice traffic by voice over IP to anywhere with a D-Star repeater. Anywhere with a D-Star repeater. Okay, D-Star. So you have to buy one that's, when you look for a ham radio, you have to look for one that says that it support D-Star. Mine does not. I don't have D-Star. Okay? I don't have D-Star. So if Jay had D-Star and I had D-Star and I know his call sign, I can transmit directly to Jay and he will hear me talk to him on his radio and say, Monkey Man 123. And using D-Star, it will go to New York and it reach his ham radio. So that makes it useful when the internet is up. When the internet is down, D-Star doesn't work. So it's really only useful when the internet is up. Okay. Now, to add to the fun here, 1,000-watt linear amp, which is you're not allowed to use that in the first level license. You need the higher level license for that. So the next thing that you can do with ham radio that's actually quite interesting. This is quite interesting. Is that you can actually make your own network. You can make your own network. So let's say that you have a bunch of friends in the city, and you want to be able to respond to an emergency. And we got Monkey Man Jay, we got Great Gold, we got Ron Waxman, we got Dutch Maz, we got Duty Ron, all these guys in New York City. So in theory, they can run their own network. That is a network that can run internet-like things, but is not on the internet. If internet goes down, the FCC would not want to be able to be police usage. So 1,000 watts is fair game. Not true, actually. If you have 1,000 watts and when the internet goes back up, you're zucked. They'll go raid you with guns and say, "Where's that 1,000-watt transmitter?" I can just see the FCC, using some other entity some other three-letter agency to go catch you. I was Silver Bullet. So hello, twin mom. So the thing that I'm going to tell you about, that you can actually make your own internet. This is really fascinating. That you actually may not realize you can do this, but you can use specific brands of routers. And if you have a ham radio license, you can take these special routers and use them in high power mode that you're not allowed to use as a non-licensed person. You have to be licensed to use it. But if you have a license, you can create what is called a HamNet. So here in LA, there's many HamNets here. So the whole Southern California area is connected by HamNets. And if the internet goes down, the HamNet people are still able to communicate. They can email, they can send messages, they can use their phone, they can do Wi-Fi to inside the HamNet. The HamNet itself, it's a mesh network. It is called a mesh network, yes. There are many different kinds. There are two different kinds. One is called a broadband mesh. The other one is called Arden Mesh. There's the two kinds. So it's Zucking Skynet. No, it's not Zucking Skynet. This doesn't require uh, connection to the internet. It doesn't require anything but battery power. So you can run the network on battery. So if you have solar power, you can solar power the network all over Southern California. If there's an earthquake and there's no power, we can actually connect people and have internet. You can use apps and phones and things that well, you can't use internet apps because you don't have any internet, but you can use whatever resources are available in the with third parties overlooking it. The nets are Wi-Fi transmitting over a specific channel, and they're not normally visible to other people. They're not normally a target for attack. That still gun peeps at us. Without the internet, we're all doomed. Yeah, without the microwave, you're doomed too. Smoke signals are no good in gale force winds. What was that, Russ? Did you know that to possess a police scanner in your vehicle is illegal unless you have a technician license? Really, Russ? A police scanner requires a technician license? Really? As far as I know, receiving anything is available to all. Anyone can receive. You don't need a license to receive. You can listen to any band at your leisure. You just can't transmit. Okay? That's somewhat true. No, as far as I know, however, I'm going to tell you something. The police bands are called trunk radio, and they're actually coded. So you can't listen to it directly. You have to, you can listen to all you want freely. Lavendi is actually correct. You can listen to anything you want. There's a discussion, though, that there's some places that you're not allowed to decrypt. Yes, there are HamNets all over the USA. How dare you make fun of me and microwaves? How dare you, microwaves? Zuck microwave. How dare you make fun of Tinkerball's microwave? Zuck you, microwave. I can listen to police scanner on my computer. If you're listening to a scanner involved in a crime, you're in big. If you're listening to a scanner involved in the crime, how dare you, microwave? Suck that microwave, Tinker. We better shoot that microwave right now. So anyway, the HamNet it's a very interesting concept that they're using common technology, which is just your Jay. You got a problem with Jews? You got a problem with Jews, Jay? I don't have any problem with Jews, Jay. I have a lot of. My social circle has a lot of Jews in them. Many, many, many. Maybe over 50%. Microwave ovens are actually cameras. Is it bad to decode? There are encrypted channels like military and so on, and there may be laws against trying to decrypt those encrypted channels that are not part of the amateur band. I just figured out I could have robbed over for. I've been in Passover, Jay. I've been in Passover. Lots of drinking. Say a few words, drink. Eat some unleavened bread, drink. Pause, drink. Eat a little bit, drink. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, lots of drinking, Jay. I know about that. Rob is one of the founding Filipino Jews in LA. There you go. Okay, so cellular system was based on the 2-meter, 70-centimeter ham bands. The cellular phone system is in the up. It's in the 33 centimeter band. That's where 3G is. Are you okay? So three cell signal is a little bit higher. It's in the 33 centimeter band, and I'm actually going to do some experiments. Our phones are radios. Yes, your phones are radios. So when there's no internet, then your phone stops working too. So everything stops working. So that's why we're talking about, what do you do if the infrastructure goes down? Do we actually, I actually was thinking about that, do we actually know what is the fallback of the nation when the internet goes down? I mean, you're like, you're basically in a situation where, we are so dependent on the infrastructure of the internet that if the internet goes down, what do we fucking do? Arm up if that happens. Shooting, what the zuck, man? So it's a thought that I don't think a lot of people have really put thought into what might happen if the power goes down. It's so much worse now than it was before. Back in the day, we used to have wired phones. And does anybody have wired phones still? You'll read a book. So does anybody have? Do you still have wired phones? I don't have any wired phones anymore. I've been through many hurricanes. E.T. Buck. I've been through many hurricanes and I've been through many, many earthquakes. I did a year ago. I'm punchy from working 2 months straight. We still have a landline. So I don't have a landline. I have one as a backup. So I don't have a landline, and it's kind of, in retrospect, no, there's no retrospect. I don't need a landline. I have no phones. I use my microwave like Kelly Ann or pancakes. They cut off my copper landline, now voice over IP. So yeah, I don't have a landline, and I'm glad I have some alternate way of communicating. What is the best way to rust my neighbor's car? I don't know, Goobalut. Why don't you ask some, latest hacker on that? I had a landline until Frontier took it over and service went downhill. So I don't have a landline. My parents and brother have landlines. My dad still uses thermal fax. I, so if you have a landline, there's at least an alternate way. If the internet goes down, there's an alternate way using the switching that I have on a station. So it's in theory you can still talk to people in your local area if if a phone system goes down. For the nation, maybe long distance goes down, but maybe local doesn't get disrupted. In today's world, it's actually it's inconceivable. In fact, think about this: the cell network. If you actually understand, how many calls are actually made to handle every day, within a given amount of time, they don't really expect more than a few hundred calls to be coming into one cell tower. I don't know if you understand what a cell tower is. A cell tower is just a computer. It's like a website. So you make the call, you connect to the tower, and it can only handle so many calls, and then it starts to get bogged down, and it's not going to be that many. So if you ever go to like a convention, like you go to Las Vegas in a convention, and can you imagine going to a computer convention and 20,000 people are on the phone simultaneously? It's not going to happen. So in an emergency, often the phone systems, the cell systems go down because they really can't handle that much traffic in an emergency. Okay, they're not made for that. They're made to handle an average number of phone calls. If there's a special event, let's say you're at the Super Bowl, they're going to bring extra cell stations at the Super Bowl just for people inside the Super Bowl to handle the traffic. So they're going to put mobile cell stations in the area. So they're going to go drive around the mobile stations to to special events because they can't really handle the volume of 20,000 people calling on the phone. It's going to be a few hundred, you know, just a few hundred at a time. So that's the problem with cell phones. This gives you a fallback. So ham radio is not dependent on any of that. And since you need a license to do this, that automatically limits the number of people that's going to be on there. On 9/11, I remember cell phone service was limited. Uh, Trying to remember. Well, I'm in LA, so I was able to talk to people on cell, and of course, a lot of people emailed. So it wasn't just cell phone, but if the internet goes down, it's like wow, suck. I mean, I don't think we understand how easily that can happen. To blow up your internet. If your power is gone, then there's no internet either. There are ways around licensing, meaning don't get a license. Is that what you're saying? I'm not going to tell you to do that. I use broadcasting. What? Broadcasty? What is that? I agree. Old TV shows had it as legal, but it wouldn't be hard to enforce. It's not anymore. I do not know. Lucky you have a piano doesn't have need internet or power. Yeah, and there's guitars too that don't need power. I have acoustic guitars. So I'd never advocate that. Well, I wouldn't tell you, not to get a license. That's some people say, well, I don't want to get a license because you basically make yourself invisible. You don't want to be identified, but they're going to ask you for a call sign. So what call sign are you going to give? Then you do a call sign and it's a fake one, and they can check the call sign and say it's fake. Report you to the FCC, and then the FCC will go pinpoint your look. In fact, the ham radio operators themselves will participate in radio finding you. The other ham radio operators will actually participate in finding you. They actually have those games. So if you're actually saying, well, I can escape that, well, the other ham radio operators will play a game on you and say, we're going to go find your location. They're going to go mobile on you with directional antennas. They're going to go in a car and then talk to you and then go find your location that way. So, FCC regularly does enforcement actions. Yeah, I'm not. I'm talking about legit use here. Okay, legit use. When I worked at the Space Center, we had 2 cell tower portable trailers after we had a hurricane blow through, so everyone on center could have temp cell service. Yeah, so that's what they actually do, is they have cell tower vans or trucks or whatever go around and then add additional cell service if needed, and then they transmit the signal to the internet. So that's how they do that. I got violations in the mail from Washington. What did you do, New Jersey Jeff? What did you do that caused you to have violations? So I'm not going to have violations. I don't. Okay, it went out of focus there. I think it focused on this. CB days? You got violations from CB? Jeez, how do you get violations from CB days? Antenna height. Okay, what is the limit for CB radio for antenna height? For ham radio, it's 200 feet. For ham radio, it's 200 feet. The Hamlets will get you. The Hamlets, 20 feet. Other things, 20 feet. Yeah, for CB radio, yeah, that's why it's not licensed. CB radio is not licensed because they give you limitations, and the limitations are built into the hardware. So if you use the proper hardware, then you never have to worry about, being in violation. The reason they license you for ham radio, the reason that they license you for ham radio is because you can do anything. You can, you know, you can put up a 5,000-foot antenna and a tower, and there has to be some laws that says, hey, you need to know that you can't do that. So on a ham radio, they say, okay, there's a limit. The limit is after 200 feet, you have to talk to the FAA. Okay, so you have a limit of 200 feet. After that, you need to get permission from the FAA. That's in the rules. Then you know that, and that's part of the question and rules. You just learn one test question. That is one of them. So there's an actual channel. There's no channels on ham radio, at least in the ranges we're talking about for technician license. They're not channels. They're just frequencies. So you can pick any frequency you want within what's allowed to you. So you can transmit on, like here. Just you can listen to this.
Channel mode.
See, that's in channel mode. Now let me change modes here.
Frequency mode.
See, that's frequency mode. So if I want to go
4, 4, 5, 2, 4, 0.
That would be the frequency. So now I'm listening on 445240. Okay? Actually, I pre-stored the channels already.
Frequency mode.
So then I can just change channel. But the channels are my invention, they're not official channels. Oops, sorry.
Channel mode. 2, 3.
These are my channels. I made them up.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1.
Okay, so these are not, although they're channels, they're actually not because they're just frequencies. So here, hold on. This is in 70 centimeter band.
4, 4, 5, 1, 4, 0.
Okay, so that would be
Scanning beacon.
then I can scan. I can scan that range. Okay, so in ham radio we don't deal with channels. You actually deal with actual frequencies. Let's listen to something. Sounds like your password. Let me tell you, for those who are interested in listening in, I'm going to tell you something that is kind of a nice project. A nice project if you want to listen in. And you can listen to, let me just tell you you can actually listen to anything. There are no laws on what you can listen to. You can listen to whatever you want. But if you're looking for what are the channels that are not coded, where you can easily listen to it, then I'm going to tell you, you can listen to, aside from ham channels, obviously the ham channels have people talking. I have a video that shows you, it's a recent video from a week ago. The title from last Monday, the title was RF Spectrum, and there I scanned through the bands that you can listen to on a device called a SDR, Software Defined Radio. Now this is really fun because it's such a cheap hobby, okay? This is a very cheap hobby if any one of you want to just learn by listening first. This is actually how I started, when I did this, is I got this device. It's called a software-defined radio, and the specific brand that you can buy is a $30 device called RTL SDR. It's $30. It's USB. I don't have it on here. It's a USB device that's this big, and you plug it in. It comes with an antenna, and then you run some software, and then you can listen in to the same stuff I'm listening to in that video, RF frequencies. If you watch that video, you could see me using this kind of software on a different device. But this RTL SDR is only $30. $30. It is so much fun because you can listen to air traffic control, you can listen to NOAA radio, weather radio, you can listen to ham radio, You can listen to well, the police channels are kind of are coded, so you can't understand what they're saying. Let's see. What else can you listen to on there? You can listen to FM radio. That's on there. You can listen to TV. So you can actually listen to TV. Really, it's in your video. Yeah. Just need a proper antenna for it. So yeah, that's Eagle Source is correct. So you plug this device in, and it's actually able to capture the entire frequency range of the device, which goes up to, I believe, to 1.5 gigahertz. So anywhere from about 100 megahertz all the way to 1.5 gigahertz. It's within the range of this $30 device, so you can listen to everything that occurs in that. And it's really interesting to see what frequencies there are. The only thing that you got to understand is the antenna. I entered 2.4 gigahertz on it. You're not going to see anything because the 2.4 gigahertz is not within the range of the device. So you need my kind of device for that, a more fancier version. The one I have is Blade RF. Hack RF1 is not as powerful as the one I got. Frequencies frighten you. So the one I got is a dual transmitter, dual receiver. So you actually need a license because you can transmit on this. So and you can make a cell station. So this is the one I have right now and I'm playing with, and you can actually control this to capture. What's up, Pablo? So one of the things I can do with my device is I can listen to your garage opener. So you can be, I can park in a car by your house, and then as you open your garage door, I'm recording the traffic on the airwaves, and then I capture the signal. You don't have a garage. I capture the signal for what it was used to open your garage. And then I can use my specific device, Blade RF, to do a replay. Yes, it came with 13 centimeters and, well, actually, Eagle Source, it works from 2 meters all the way up to 13 to 33 centimeters. So you get that range from 2 meters to 33 centimeters. But the highest frequency you can get on that little device, that $30 device, is 1.5 or so. It doesn't go to 1.9. A cell is on 850, so you can see cell traffic at 850. You can see that at 850. I heard such conversation of other people on hand radio, which is weird. It's great to have a hand radio for emergency situations. Yeah, so you know, do you ever think about the fact that you may need to communicate if, you know, the internet goes down? I mean, again, these things are, I'll be honest with you, not with this. This already comes with an antenna. Do you need other antennas? Yes, if you want to get serious about it, you will need to get fancier antennas. Remember a thing called the cordless phones? You could listen to neighbors' phone calls. Those cordless phones are in the 2.4 gigahertz range, which is actually the same range as Wi-Fi. This is a Baofeng, yes. This is a Baofeng UV82P. The popular one is the UV5R. If the internet goes down, I'll drink some bleach and die. They are illegal. They're actually legal to somebody with a license, Daddy Supreme. Yeah, so yeah, they're legal if you have a license. So if you can find them, then they're still sold. You're on Hello Bama Boom, Baba Boom. Other antennas, but what about the repeaters? The repeaters are the repeaters. The repeaters are around you. There's a app that can show you the repeaters next to you. Let me see. What's the name of the app? If you have if you want to find out what repeaters are next to you, yeah, I downloaded this app called Repeater Book. It's the name of the app, Repeater Book, and it shows me the repeaters in my area. Just put your zip code in and track the repeaters in your area, and then in those frequencies. So yeah, it's not all that mysterious. Quite doable. AX4 or AX9. AX. I don't know if it's X. I have the 4. Is it X or A04? I forget now. What is my model? Is it X? Is there X in there? Yeah, I got the 4. 90210. Twistman redacted the message. What is the message, Twistman, that got redacted? I saw it briefly, then it got redacted. When I looked up, it was gone. Twistman redacted it. So, broadcast is web-based police scanner. Yeah, but we're talking about what to do when there's no internet. I've heard, let's see, XA4 or XA9. Yeah, so I have the, there you go, that makes more sense. XA4. Okay, I have the 4 one. The one with the 4 in it. The 9 one is not necessary for what I want to play with it with, because I'm using it for testing hacking concepts. So it's kind of, even there it's kind of expensive. I mean, it's kind of like a small computer by itself. So that one was with the case, it was over $600. It was like $660 with the case on it. So that's not cheap. Oh, this is great. I can redact my failed jokes. I'm always amused. Simon, do you ever sleep? I mean, you're like up at the early hours of dawn, and it's amazing. Thank you for always being here, Simon. Maybe you have to take take the train early, all right? Or maybe you're on the train. Are you really up that early? You got to work so early to get on the train? Ham broadcasts are kind of like the old party lines. Yeah. So back to the concept I mentioned earlier that I kind of skipped over, and this is really the fun part. The HamNet. So there are actually to do a HamNet or mesh network is really kind of simple. All you have to do is get the hardware for it, which is a one of the listed routers. So you buy a router, and specifically the one routers you're told to buy are the outdoor routers. The outdoor routers are made by Ubiquiti, and some made by Linksys, I think. So Ubiquiti is the popular one, okay? And the Ubiquiti routers, they're just like your home routers. They're no different. They're not very big. They're kind of like maybe this long, and maybe that thin, and they're about $80, and you can basically mount that on a PVC pipe, like outside, and you can put a Wi-Fi on it, so you basically can get two devices, a one for the mesh, another one for your local Wi-Fi, and then you can just power it with solar and keep it outside, and you have your own version of the internet. And anyone who has one, as long as you have the same SSID, that's the only thing that's needed. You all just have to have the same name. As soon as you make the router itself have the same name, you're actually automatically connected. So here in LA, there's a whole number of these routers all over town, and all you have to do is make them the same name as the network that they're on, and suddenly you're visible to, hundreds of these routers in the area. And then suddenly you're connected to your own private network. TP link. You're connected to your own private network. Now, what can you do on this? It's basically like a local area network. So you can put like IP cameras. You can make a website. You have to make your own server though. I mean, it doesn't work with the internet, since the assumption is there's no internet. So you can connect it to the internet, but the assumption is that make it work without the internet, because that's the whole point. So you can make, your own software, your own servers, whatever. And as long as you have battery power for it, you can actually connect to people all over the area and get information and exchange, emails and whatever with the people in your area on this thing called a HamNet. It's really, really fascinating, because I'm thinking, just my imagination is working here. I don't have this kind of environment, but I wish I had a lot of friends in one community where I can think about like, let's say you're in a prepper community. Actually, if you live in Malibu, maybe all the movie stars over there are on a HamNet. They should be, right? They can afford it. So, because that's what you would do. You would have to be connected to people, and then it would be great if you could do a HamNet with people you actually know. You were listen to the ham guys on my Unidance scanner, and the train's storm spotters are great. Awesome. They would have ham in their panic room. The idea is, if you're a prepper, let's say you have a community, actually, LA itself has many of these HamNets, and there are hundreds of them. But in a HamNet, they can spy on your activity. The activity that they can spy on is whatever you put on the HamNet. Do you know karate? What? Like, what's that? What is the point of that question? I'm too old to do any karate. Okay, when I need to do karate, I say, "You're gonna do karate? I'll do this." This is handier when you get older. For young people, you can do karate. For old people, this will serve the purpose. I don't need to do karate for that. Okay? It's a little simpler. I'm just curious. You look like a karate martial artist. When I was young, yes. Please make a YouTube video of where you're prepping so everyone can know where you are. The 1911 nice handgun. So preppers. So you could think of LA as having a lot of these HamNets. You can participate in your own HamNet in your area just by buying your own device and go to the website and installing the software on it, and then you become part of the ham network. So LA has one. I'm thinking of putting one up. I'm only concerned about where I am because I have obstructions. So I'm not in a good area where I get a clear signal, because I just got so many obstructions around here. So I don't know if the nearest HamNet to me, I'm kind of in an area that there's not a lot of HamNets, because of the obstructions here. So maybe I'll be the only obstructions of HamNet. Your fingers move across the piano fast like a ninja. What does that mean? So the HamNet concept is kind of nice, because can satellite work with ham in any way? Yes, satellites can be used to transmit ham. There are satellite repeaters. I believe they're only in use in the general license band. They're not available to the the intro level license. Obstruction and ham would be a ham bone. It may not be that good of an idea to brandish a weapon on TV scope in a threatening way. Why my BPRVCD perceived to be wrong? Okay, let me do it again. Alex said it's not a good idea to brandish a weapon in a scope. So Alex said it's not a good idea to brandish weapon in a scope. Kids, etc. And which channel? Kids? Didn't Periscope already raise the limit to? What's the age limit for Periscope now? Isn't it up to? What's the age limit now for Periscope? Just people overall is just dumb if it's real. Let's find out if it's real. Okay, let's find out if it's real right now. There. There's a big hole in the wall now. Big hole in the wall. So anyway, yeah. So there's the ammo. That was yeah, it was very satisfying. However, to be honest, just for Alex here, I wanted to use this, but I didn't want to like punch a hole in my wall and kill somebody on the other side. But I'd rather use this. That would be more fun. Okay. Can you see that, Alex? I would prefer that, but I can't. Okay, Alex, yes, Periscope is not safe for you. So here's my advice, Alex. Go watch on YouTube. Go watch on YouTube. Let's talk. Kill each other enough. Does that have pork at the end? A great role model. Are you a young kid, Alex, live streaming? Because maybe you're not in the target market. I am certainly not target market. My target is not the 14-year-old. Nah, you can go. I am on YouTube. Okay, Alex, I am broadcasting. Right, this is YouTube. Okay, you see all those comments on the screen? Those are comments from people on YouTube. So people on YouTube, tell Alex that you're there. So every one of you on YouTube, are you all mature enough to handle a little ammo? Is there anything bad about teaching kids how to use a gun properly? Some of you will say, yes, this is YouTube. Okay, so it's a pen. So anybody have a problem with teaching children how to use a gun properly? I don't have a problem with that. Okay, I support the Second Amendment. No, I own one too. Well, I teach my kids how to use a weapon, teaching kids how to invest. I teach my kids how to use these. So yes, my kids know how to fire this properly, and how all the safety precautions and how to use it, and they all had the proper training for that. Yes, if we had more good guys with gun, would have less shootings. Teach a kid with laws. It's not smart being so cavalier. I can be cavalier since this is a prop, but with a real gun, it's all locked up. That's not good. That's good to say, though. That's good to say. So if a bad guy goes in the door, I may not use the toy. That's all I'm saying. Of course, this is a toy. If they're in the house, they should be trained so they don't do something stupid. I have photographic proof. Yes, Entermeyer. Entermeyer's photographic proof. Yes. So look, guys. When the internet goes down. When the internet goes down, let me tell you the things that you might need when the internet goes down. This and this. Yes. Believe it or not, these may be the things you need when the internet goes down. Okay? FYI. Okay? So they're actually connected. So yes, these are things that are useful when the internet goes down. So it's actually fitting. Alex has never seen a gun, a solar powered repeater, and a bunch of two-way radios. Uh, yes. So yes, and of course, where's my ammo? The ammo disappeared. What did I do with the ammo? You gotta have the ammo. What did I do with the ammo? Now there it is. And of course, ammo. And canned goods and water. Canned goods and water. So you need all that. So yes, Alex, I appreciate your concern. So yeah, it's just have some humor, man. Have some humor. We don't shoot any real things in here. And a seed vault and solar. Okay, we don't shoot real things in my scope. Nor do we show real guns in my scope. We just use toys. Everything is a toy. It's not illegal to show a toy. 2 purple shoes. What kind of tech are you? A super tech? Super tech? Okay, quick question. You're in a there's no electricity. There's no electricity and you have a campfire and somebody decides to throw this bullet, not the bullet, but the whole cartridge. So somebody throws the cartridge into the fire. What happens? Do you all run away? Let me repeat the story. So you got one of these. You got one of these, okay, which is pretty scary, and because it has a lot of powder in there, and you throw this into the fire, and you're all having fun and drinking in front of the fire when there's no internet, and somebody throws this into the fire for fun, and what do? Do you all panic and says, "Suck"? What happens, guys? Gonna make noise. Everyone goes blind. That's what happens. Run and get mauled by the bear. Boom, mama, boom. I would imagine it will just fizz like that. It'll probably it probably won't explode. I can't imagine it exploding. It'll probably just the casing will fly off like in a short distance and create a little little fire thing in there. Throw your least like friends on top of the fire. I think fireworks. It probably make a little firework because it's like. Have you ever tried lighting up gunpowder? Just never try it too easy. Yes, it explodes. I've been there, done that as a firefighter. Really, this explodes? You have to for it to explode, you have to compress it. You won't die, no. So if it's out in the open, basically, if you take one of these and empty out the gunpowder and light it up, it's just. Yeah, it explodes. But if it's yes, explodes as a what do you call this? From the gunpowder, but not explosive as in. I guess if you have a lot of it, there'd be a lot of gunpowder in there, so there's a lot of energy to dissipate there. But this itself, if talking about an isolated bullet, and not a bullet, a cartridge, an isolated cartridge, and you throw it into the fire, it should, the casing will fly off. So, I don't think the word explode is the proper wording, bomba boom. It's not going to go boom. It's not going to do that. It's fragments can hurt you. Right. I mean, don't go. don't stand next to it. What about the ham that would cook? Fizzle, ricochet, flammable. Yeah, I don't think it'll kill you though. Might hurt you because it flies off and it causes a burn. It's gonna go bomb, not boom. There you go. Armor piercing. That doesn't matter if it's armor piercing. I've been that dumb. So anyway, that's just this is FMJ, right? Right. This is FMJ because the non-FMJ ones have a different tip. The standard FMJ just looks like that. So you should know that. You don't have to ask if it's FMJ. You should know that because the other one has, green tip on it. The not FMJ ones have different colored tips. That's how you know. Right. The so-called armor piercing ones, like, are they really that useful? My friend got hit twice at the gun range the same day from two different. Oh my gosh! Shocking guy. That is shocking. I better stay away from that gun range. That must be a gun range for stupid people. Oh my gosh, that's kind of scary. That's scary. Yeah. Reminds me. I told you the story before. I was at the. This is only a theoretical. So I was at the gun range, and so I'm firing at this target at about. Target was about 21 feet or so. Okay, 21-foot target, and that's what I was shooting. And this guy next to me was this big gangster-looking guy. And he put the target at 7 feet. Then he did the gangster hold, like that, the sideways thing. So he aimed his gun like this sideways, and then he did pow 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 pow, right? And then you look at the target. This is at 7 feet, and then all the bullets were all over the place. It's like, maybe some of them even missed the paper. It was like was all 7 feet, for goodness sakes. Couldn't even shoot straight at 7 zucking feet. Okay, so I watched him do that, and he was right next to me. I hope he saw me shoot. Then my target was at 21 feet, and then I fired mine, and my bullets with a pistol are at 21 feet are gonna fall in that circle. For max drama, sideways for max drama. Gotta get up early. Okay, Russ Martin. When did they start serving alcohol at the gun range? They serve alcohol at a gun range, or that was just to nice. Well, it could be better, Bama Boom, but for a amateur, it's not too bad. Do you do a smiley face? For an amateur, it's okay, but I'm not. Obviously, a professional can shoot. Probably at 21 feet can shoot that. I can't do that, but I do. I did have a lot of them inside that small of a circle of 21 feet. That's why people in the movies hardly get hit. So anyway, we kind of went off the topic here. We were talking about HamNet. I love the HamNet concept because it really says you can use the internet. You can use a device that you use on the internet, like a phone or a iPad, and still use it without internet as long as you have a HamNet. So you'd be limited in what apps you can use, but at least you can still communicate with people without having to get on the phone, because there won't be any phone. It'll be just ham radio, and this. And then a pistol is a whole different ball game. It's fun to shoot a Coke can and do it and hit it again where it's still in the air. Whoa. Yeah, but you definitely will not have the bandwidth you are used to. Web circuit, the HamNet is 54 megabits per second. What the fuck are you talking about? What kind of bandwidth do you want? You can do live streaming, 54 megabits, crossing miles of territory. 54 megabits, that's the standard they shoot for. 50, I forgot to mention that. Well, I mean, realistically, 54. It depends on the device, but on average, they shoot for 54 megabits. If you think that's slow, I mean, that's faster than most people's internet. So that's pretty fast. That means live video. So you can you can do a live stream on HamNet. Off the subject, what's the deal on C-band decoders? What's the best? C-band. What's a C-band? I'm not familiar with a C-band. So the ones I'm familiar with, if you want to use this over the internet, which you can, the two ones that are popular are D-Star, and the other one is called DMR. I don't really know much about DMR, but I know about D-Star. So D-Star allows you to connect to a D-Star repeater, and then you can call anyone. Which one is satellite? C-band decoder is a satellite? Hello, Mecca's Queen. So D-Star allows you to talk with this on the internet. And if you don't have a D-Star, repeater near you, how are you doing, Mecca's Queen? So if you don't have a D-Star repeater next to you, you can get one. It's kind of expensive. It's like 200 some bucks. You plug it into your computer, and then you have your own local repeater. So it kind of misses the point, I think. If you have to buy a D-Star device and put it on your computer for 200 and some bucks, I'm like, that kind of misses the point. So, good chillin'. You don't talk to us on Brax anymore, Mecca's Queen. So anyway, yeah. C-band is infrared. Why would you use infrared? That sounds 10x faster than what I'm used to. What do you mean C-band is 500 megahertz to 1 gigabit per second? I don't know what C-band is. Yes, you mean this? This is not USB rechargeable as it comes. At least the way it's delivered, it's not. It has its own charger. Why do you have to throw Brax in my face? Because that's where I'm found. I'm on Brax. Okay, C-band is not a official terminology. I don't understand what you mean by C-band as being 500 megahertz to 1 gigahertz, because that's not C-band. So the 500 megahertz or 400 megahertz is in the 2 meter band. No, that's 70 centimeter band. So that would be 70 centimeters all the way to 33 centimeter band. So why do you call it the C-band? The centimeter band? Is that why you mean that? I guess that's in the centimeter band. Is that what that refers to? So yes, that is in the centimeter band. If that's what you mean by that? That's certainly not a terminology I'm used to. There's two kind, IEEE and NATO of what? What they call frequencies. I could listen to you all day, but early morning. Okay, Katie, I'm so glad you're like even willing to listen to me for any long amount of time. Thank you, Katie. And have fun in Vancouver area. Have a good day over in the Vancouver area. Yeah, so it's centimeter band, which is in the range of this device here. It's kind of cool, this little thing here. I mean, I didn't really realize how cheap these radios have become. I have a lot of VHF radios. I have on my boat. I have three VHF radios. On my boat. I have two portables, and then one mast mounted on top of the mast. Yes, I have a ham operator's license. Yes, but I also have VHF, which is marine. There's no need for a marine license, but the one for marine, and I have three of those radios, and they only work line of sight. So typically, maybe 10 miles max in the ocean. And so then when let's say we go to shore, we can talk to each other on VHF, and we don't have to announce like call signs or anything. We just talk. So there are no restrictions. There's no licensing, and they're short range, and anyone can say anything on it. So I do have those VHF. So in an emergency, I can have VHF, and my family can talk on VHF because that's not restricted. But on ham radio, you need a license. So I actually have two of the VHF ones for marine. The problem is the marine ones are quite a bit more expensive. They're like $150 a piece for the marine one. For the portable ones, to think that you get this for $25, $25. I think they added $125 when they want to call it marine. So, it's marine, so let's add another $125 to that. VHF is not CB radio, no. CB radio is much lower. Where what? Plus tax, same old potatoes. Where what? Yeah, it's incredibly, it's expensive. Just to say marine. So I don't know. The only problem is in your area, maybe there's nobody talking on these. So you may have to find them on D-Star. Because they're going to say, well, there's no emergencies. I don't want to be talking about this. So when you S25, it's Amazon. You can find, not this model, but the model's called a Baofeng UV5R, and they're $25. Baofeng UV25R on Amazon. I can put the link in the video later on if you're interested. If you're interested in some of this stuff I'm talking about, I can put the link in the video. So you can check it out on your free time, tomorrow. Just find this video and I'll put the links on it. Kind of cool. C-band typically refers to satellite TV signals. Satellite TV is, I don't know what the frequency is for satellite TV. I don't know where that is. That's not in the amateur bands. Found some VHF marine radios below $100 on Amazon. Well, maybe now they're cheap because they're competing. They're probably all made in China too, right? So they said, well, marine radios are really $25, but, let's charge an additional $75 for them. Seriously. What's the difference? VHF is certainly less capable than this. Marine radio VHF is less capable than this with so few channels, and yet they charge you. My gosh. Anyway, that's just some educational things. If you want to know more about getting a license, what I did is to for those of you interested in getting a ham license, I obviously you go to the internet and kind of search for it. But I did buy a book called the licensing book from the amateur radio. Was it ARRL? ARRL, and they and I bought a book from them, and you can learn about
uh, what the questions are, and then you can search there for who's offering an exam in your area. So typically, you'll find somebody in your area offering to do the exam. The exams are given by volunteers, so they're not actually run by the FCC. They're run by volunteers. So you can find a lot of volunteers to do that. Is it the freeze time of the hour? Well, it's very minimal. That was the only freeze I saw there this whole time. Very minimal. So anyway, I hope you learn. I'll put what frequency classification is shortwave. Shortwave is you can listen to shortwave as a normal citizen, but shortwave is ham radio, and it's only one freeze time, and it's not available to the first licensing level. You got to be at the next level for that. So, and the shortwave broadcasting, I think, may even require different licensing. Actually, I'm not sure exactly where shortwave licensing happen. Marine radios are more expensive because they're similar to avionics. ISO requirements. Come on, keep TXDX. We're not talking about running a big ship on VHF. We're talking about a little boat. On a little boat, are you saying that the guy in the car doesn't have the same safety requirements as the guy in the boat? It's all the same. It's interesting, just we all need a license. Well, it's different licensing for you in Australia. I can't tell you what the licensing requirements are for Australia, but it's different over there. See, band tip, let's study together. So, okay, no, come on, keep TXDX. That's a good explanation for them to charge for. Oh, we have different ISO requirements because it might fall in the water. Right. Right. It's just a way to make money. Way to make money. That that may be the reason they state. What the real reason is, I want to know. They probably microchip you. Yes. They'll microchip you in Australia. Yes. So anyway, there's a way to escape the internet through avionics are ridiculously expensive. Yes. Everything marine. So let's say you get paint, and you say it's marine paint. Oh my gosh, that'll quadruple the price. You get soap, marine soap. Oh yeah, that's be expensive. Hose from Home Depot, $10. Hose from West Marine, $50. Okay, how about this? Cup holder. How much is a cup holder? How much is a cup holder for your car? How much is a cup holder for your car? A few cents, 99 cents. Okay, if you put it, in the window. Okay, a cup holder for a boat, $50. Cup holder. Okay, how about this? Barbecue. How much is a barbecue at Home Depot? Charcoal barbecue. At Home Depot, I don't know, $20. Okay, West Marine, stainless steel. It's got to be stainless steel. $1,000, $1,500. $1,000 to $1,500. Okay, for a barbecue. Do you have to have an operator's license to purchase one like you have there? You do not need to have an operator's license to purchase one. You are able to listen in. Listening is not...
Frequency mode.
You can listen.
Menu.
So, let's say you don't have a license.
Channel mode.
If you don't have a license, you can listen to this. Okay, a license is not required.
Scanning begin.
Pretty much going to bed after this.
Yes, you can have an accent.
Port internally, and then have maybe an antenna jack and, I don't know, whatever else necessary. DAC alert here. We've been came out in the 90s. It was a receiver built by ICOM. I forget what it's called.
There's no channel,
bad.
it's frequencies.
Maybe BB has, or somebody else, but I have not seen something that you can just plug straight.
Okay, so in ham radio you don't deal with channels. You deal with actual frequencies. So you let's say the frequency here is I'll show you.
Frequency mode.
So let's say the frequency you're going to is
44512
okay 445120, but I can go to
44512 44512 44512
You see what I mean? I mean it's infinitely variable. Does it have voicemail? If you have the advanced level, you can actually send email. It's very slow though, but you can send email from anywhere, from a boat, from a mountain. It's very, very slow because it uses the HF, which is the low frequencies. And you need the general license for that. And that's a higher level. So you can't do that for the introductory license. So what makes a cup holder marine? It can withstand the threat of weather, and meaning it's made of some composite material. And it will survive the rigors of the outdoor marine environment. From that device, can you do Morse? No. And you're not required to do Morse code in ham radio anymore. So a lot of people will even have computers that do the Morse code for you. There are tons of fraudsters on Periscope. I trust you, Brax. Mindscoping, thank you for speaking up. Thank you. Who are the fraudsters? Many. One of the fraudsters apparently. Gamma is back. One of the fraudsters is apparently doing well on YouTube. One of the fraudsters were kicked out of Periscope and apparently doing well on YouTube. If you can explain that to me. I'm going to tell you, I'm so frustrated sometimes with, what we all have to do here. Dave and I, old-time broadcasters here, we've been broadcasting for so long. And then some people cheat and they make money. Did the Radio Shack ever sell ham radio? I'm not sure. But some people cheat and make money. I'm talking about some political types. So I just saw this guy. He's gone from Periscope, but boy, he lies to the people, and he got them to go on YouTube and got them to give him money on Patreon. The people that cheat are the ones who this guy is definitely in it for the money. He claims to be in it for politics. And no, he's in it for the money. And it's like, I'm going to tell you guys, I looked at that. Dave, I looked at that and I was just, I'm trying to, be a full-time broadcaster here. I don't give people money here. Well, I hope you buy my products, not give me money, but earn it, because I sell VPNs right there and VPN routers, as well as merchandise. But it's just kind of. Amazing how people get scammed. It's just only been the USA. The guy sounds like a classic. Some of you know who it is. do you lucky you do YouTube, or you would not have advertising. That yeah, you make 50 cents a day from the advertising. Like, it's a really good deal. 50 cents a day. It's like, very, very profitable. I could get really rich from this. Yeah, this is hard because I feel like, I'm trying to make as good a content as I can, and the ones succeeding are the ones cheating. And it's like, suck. And I don't want to cheat. I don't want to do any of that. He basically parlayed this fake persona of being popular when he really wasn't by using fake numbers, and then parlayed that into some actual numbers on YouTube. And it's like, Zuck, he's doing better than I am. I have no problem taking YouTube's money. Well, I want to take YouTube's money too. You probably make more YouTube money than I do. I think you can. Back to the mesh network. What about the 255 IP limit? Is there a way to break that limit? Keep TXDX. I believe each subnet is 255 for you, but there's no limit to how many of those networks you can set up. There is no 255 limit. I believe it will use the entire 10 dot. So 0.0.0. So can use all that. It takes over the whole 10 dot network. So yeah, you can, all of that, the entire 10 dot network. Is that not enough for you? It's routable. You have to make it routable by choice, though. By default, you can't route through somebody else, but you can self-route. It's not routable to go to your neighbors and go through the internet to your neighbors. You, however, can route your own local traffic to have an alternate address, to have a route to the internet. So you can do it. It's actually built into the software. You can specify a WAN connection. Just understand that in an emergency, the WAN connection may not exist because there's no internet. So when you're testing it, you say, okay, which network am I on? I'm going to be on the mesh network or the total. Mainsko saw he must have had to balance it. Have you heard of Hashgraph? No, I don't know what Hashgraph is. Is Chromecast safe? Who are you asking, Dihama? Safe in what way? What do you mean safe? I mean, it goes on the internet. What does safe mean? So I don't understand what the question means. Yeah, I mean, what safe in what context? What is your fear? It depends on who your opposition is. Thank you for the super heart, Wagama Mama Mama. Thank you. So every time I see a Dave scope, by the way, follow Dave, by the way, Dave from Osaka. I love Japanese food, so I'm like, I'm going for the Steve Jobs look for tonight. You go for the Steve Jobs. Yeah. Steve Jobs look. Every time I see Dave, like, I love Japanese food, so I'm like, I always like to try it. But food must be really expensive over there. Is it expensive, Dave, in Osaka? I mean, how much is a, reasonable mid-level sushi dinner? How much does that cost? Dave taught me about chocolate ramen. I don't know if I want chocolate ramen, but like, what's a good mid-level, not the super cheap and not the expensive one, but just, average people sushi dinner. How much would you spend? 30 to 40. Well, that's the same as here then. Well, that's the same thing. I thought it would be. I thought it would be a little bit more. Yeah, I guess it's the same. Yeah, sushi dinners are expensive. Yeah, and unfortunately, I like my sushi way too much. So that is expensive, but it's healthier for me. Eat more fish. Healthier. I didn't win some. I ate 24 raw oysters in Napa. It cost me $120. OMG. Oh my gosh. Well, uh, $2 a piece, 120 times 24. What's that? $5 a piece? Come on. That's way too much. I mean, they used to be 50 cents. Yeah, that's crazy. $4 each plus tip? No, that's too crazy. That's what you do mind scoping is you go to the Asian markets and they sell it to you by the 50 piece, and it'll cost about $1 a piece. 50 cents in 1998. Yes, but you can still buy them for about $1 a piece. If you go to an Asian market and you buy it in 50s. So you would have spent, you have to open it up yourself, but you would spend about $50. I went today, I paid $2 each. Wow, you don't fish off the boat? No. About polluted fish. No, I don't eat from the boat. So I shucked them at home. Yes, $2 a piece. Mind Scoping really likes his oysters. Mind Scoping, you really like your oysters. That's hello, Bob Grover. We have a newbie here. Hello, Bob Grover. I see a new name on the chat for that's on these comments. Every video has more dislikes than likes. They use the fact of over 1 million watch hours on YouTube to get free stuff. I wonder how candy bars managed to cost 50 cents each for so many years. Moved over from Scope. Okay, that's good. I wanted you to move over from Scope. I haven't had steak in over 15 years. Can I ask a question a bit off topic? What is the question, Magama Wama Mama? Dave. How many subscribers now on YouTube? 1240 a moment ago. What is it now? What's the question, Dave? Before I started my broadcast, it was at 1240. Now I'm still at 1240. It didn't change. Oh, Bama Boom is Bob Grover. Okay. Bama Boom. Bob Grover is better to watch on YouTube. Okay, well, Mama, what's the question? Must be long. He has to type it up. I scoped my seafood adventure yesterday. I love seafood. So I'm not. I don't tend to eat that much meat. But unfortunately, sushi and oysters and all that's all expensive. Crab, stuff like that. It's expensive. So can't make a habit of it too much because it's gonna cost you. Lobster. Yep. I heard a guy hacked a plane and controlled it through a monitor on their seat. Yes. There, Dave, that's actually something that that people in the entertainment screen. That's actually something that the FAA and all of these aircraft companies are very concerned about. My friend who sails with me is the editor of one of those aviation magazines now. He wasn't the editor when he was sailing with me, but he became editor and left town. So just recently, he became the editor of one of the aviation magazines. one of the biggest ones. And he used to attend DEF CON. So he used to go to hackers conferences, DEF CON and Black Hat, and it's very interesting because why is he going? He's the editor of the magazine. Why is he going to DEF CON and Black Hat? He's not even a hacker. He doesn't even know how to hack. And the thing is, because of his work in the fear of hacking aircraft, they're actually very concerned about how you could do this. And yes, there's obviously the only thing that protects an airplane is that it's up in the air and there's not many hackers can reach it from the ground. You have to be up there to reach it. So can you reach it from up there? Yes. The problem is if you hack it and you're captive, in a captive audience, and somebody finds out that you hacked it, then they take you straight to jail from there. So that's kind of you can't like hide. So that's pretty brash of him to attack unless he did it with permission. Because sometimes they can do that. They say, okay, can I hack you with permission? To look for flaws. How is the seat connected to the control? It's not the network. There's a it's all digital now. But I think you're talking about the controls of the entertainment system, not the controls of the airplane. They may have separated that for safety. Yeah, pen test. But there's no difference. What do you think the difference is when hacking a car? Well, this is something that people don't even realize, that your car is running Linux. The guy made the plane descent and ascend. Oh, he was actually able to hack into the computer, the phone. The actual flight control network. Wow. That's a major flaw. That's a major flaw. Yeah. See, it probably has as many flaws as anything else. They can hack a car, right? Why couldn't they hack an airplane? It's the same thing. There are probably just as many flaws in the system. And when they give you internet, then on an airplane, they basically allowed you hook into the system. So, yeah, that's I'm actually awaiting the day when that happens, because that only makes sense. Oh, hello, Kathy. What's up, my friend? The white hats can get away with anything. It's pretty crazy. The Israelis are big into hacking cars. The ham topic is relaxing in comparison. Most cyber, especially privacy-related topics, really wind me up. Yeah, we need to sometimes thank God he was a white hat hacker. The ham topic is to give you an escape, to say that there is a place that is not always adversarial as the internet is. The internet has become a terrible, terrible place now. I can hack into Tesla with MS-DOS. You sure they're not using Linux? So you're saying Tesla decided to use MS-DOS and not Linux? Aloha, Angel. And you're not even on YouTube tonight. Tornado where in Texas? I have family there. Oh, you're in Arizona. Stream freezing for anyone else? Stream freezing for anyone else? A moment ago, but not right now. No. No freezing at the moment. Anyway, I think it's time to not freezing. I have an event tomorrow. I'm not going to be around tomorrow night. So I'm not going to be broadcasting tomorrow night. I'm thinking about just doing a music broadcast on Tuesday here on Periscope only, not on YouTube, and just play some music. So it's like practice, since I haven't done that in so long, and no one's going to watch anyway. So, so maybe Tuesday, okay? Maybe on Tuesday. Guacamole. 5 de Mayo. Elevator broadcast. Yeah, I'll do an elevator broadcast maybe on Tuesday. I'm not broadcasting tomorrow. And then I'll be making videos all week. So go watch the videos all week. Lynn County had a touchdown, whatever Lynn County is. Greetings from Hawaii Island. Okay, so I won't be around tomorrow, guys. So watch out for videos. I'll try to make videos, a couple of videos during the week, and I'll try to do a broadcast on Tuesday on Periscope for music, and just relax chat. No long talk. Okay? See ya. See ya, Dihama. See ya, North Korea. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll thank you, Angel. I'll post the links on this video on YouTube. I'll post the links to some of the things that I was talking about. Good night. Good night, Wagama Mama.